00100 show. I am your host, GameChanger. Oh, excuse me. Let me try to do this right. Okay, again, welcome to the GameChanger 00100 show. I am your host, GameChanger. So, there was a woman that came up on my feed. Her name is Kimberly Michelle. I'm wondering, why is it so many like Kimberlys and Michelles in the black relationship sector of YouTube? Kind of like there's a bunch of Harriets, and when you read about the books or the slavery books, and there's a bunch of Nats. I'm wondering why. Well, anyway, that's a separate thought. But her name is Kimberly, and she has something that she has on her mind, and that is women feel disrespecting black women is normal now. Now, it's funny that you should say that, and I had to think about throughout the course of my life, and something occurred to me, and that is for the entirety. I'm in my 40s, so this is a long time. For the entirety of my life, disrespecting black men was normal. Hit the like button. Want y'all to sit and think about that for a second, because the Jeffersons, I'm going to look this up. The Jeffersons was out in the 70s. At least I think it was. Yeah, 1975 to 1985. The woman, the maid, Florence, would constantly disrespect the man of the house, George Jefferson. And I mean, like, it was nothing. Like, it's her job to open the door and clean and stuff like that. But, she rarely, if ever, actually did her job. She collected a paycheck. That somebody would knock on the door, and, she would look at him like, you ain't going to get it. It's gotten so bad, the normalization of the disrespect, that George even learned to embrace it. So there was a time where Florence got another job or something, I forget, but she had to go for a bit. Then he hired another actual cooperative maid. And then this maid was on some yes sir, no sir, and she actually did her job, which was making his life easier. And he couldn't take it. It drove him crazy. He needed somebody to give him the crap, the attitude, quote unquote, that his maid Florence was giving him. He needed it. He needed it, which is a very sad state of affairs. Disrespecting black men have become so normal that he didn't know what to do without it. This was in the 70s. And then you look at other shows that also came out in the 70s, like Good Times. Good Times, the respectable black man, they got rid of him. The one that actually deserved respect and demanded respect with his presence, John Amos. They got rid of him. They like, oh no, he's too much of a respectable black man. And then shortly after that, you started getting characters like Bookman, the janitor, or not the janitor, the maintenance man of the building superintendent, I think he was. And what was interesting about Bookman was that he was a fat man. And as such, he received a lot of disrespect. He received disrespect from JJ. He received disrespect from Thelma. He received disrespect from Michael. He even received disrespect from Penny, who is Janet Jackson, who grew to become Janet Jackson. So the whole respect your elder thing don't really apply to black men. You can teach your kids that it's okay to disrespect a black man. You can disrespect adults as long as he's black, is the message that they were sending to the 70s. This is okay. Nobody said nothing. A 9-year-old calling an adult man who actually has authority in the complex that they live in buffalo butt. What was even weirder, it was like nobody noticed that Florida Evans was fat too. She called him buffalo butt. Like, why didn't he never call her that? Why did he never call her syrup woman? Like, it was a very, very strange dynamic. And this is what was fed into the psyche of young black boys and girls their entire lives, that this is okay. This type of disrespect is okay. And now that black women are being critiqued, now that they're being a little bit critiqued by black men and others, it's like, oh my God, stop normalizing the hatred and disrespect. It's like, wait, oh gosh. I'm glad that things started to shift in the 80s and 90s where you had like the Uncle Phil types. I'm glad that that happened. Going back to George Jefferson right quick though. Um George Jefferson didn't take disrespect from anybody but black women. He didn't take disrespect from white men, black men, gangsters and stuff like that. No disrespect from anybody. And but when Flo came to town, I don't know. The whole thing's weird. Anyway, let me read some of your comments and then we'll get started. This one says, I just watched Passenger 57, 1992. I know where this is going. Okay. It says, in the black woman in the beginning, yep, yep. In the beginning of the movie, was talking crazy to Wesley Snipes, disrespecting black men has been normal. We just never noticed it. Yes, this is true. This is true. It was actually, I think that it has become so normal that many black women, and it's possible that most black women actually think that we like it. And they're surprised when we don't embrace it, because then it's something wrong with you. It's like, why aren't you embracing this? How come it's spicy when a Latina does it? They think that we like it because the men on TV like it. Like, ooh, she feisty. That turns me on. Like, let me fight the plane terrorist to win her over. In reference in the movie Passenger 57. So while teaching the black boys to embrace it, you're also teaching the black girls that this is what boys like. And then when they grow up, and the boy might actually embrace it because he was taught to, like, like if every single attractive woman you've seen on TV wore a yellow ribbon, then you're going to associate that with attractive. But that's temporary. And the moment she get in your face in real life, you're gonna be like, something, this is not that hot. The moment you start paying a maid to work in real life, you're gonna be like, oh, you're fired. Because in real life, you don't have time for that crap. You start to quickly see it as a hindrance. So black women become confused because they're like, how come the thing that I was groomed to be my entire life and told that men like isn't working? This is pretty much all I got. I spent the last 20 years, learning this way. I mean, Mr. was head over heels for Suge Avery. Harpo was head over heels for Miss Sophia. But in real life, Game Changer is calling Miss Sophia a fat bitch. So what's going on? Something must be wrong with these men. Let's talk about it. And we're going to talk about who's talking about it in that order. Hit the like button. All right. What's up, Ninja? You know who you are. All right. What's going on, Andrew? Let's see. What's good, King Picks? All right. Yeah, he embraced being treated like trash. Yeah, George Jefferson did. All right. Let's see. Well, I mean, he longed for it the way prisoners long for prison food. It takes a while of decent food before they actually, because people think that, oh, he's institutionalized. And I don't know how it works when, you're Morgan Freeman's age and you've been in prison your entire life. Maybe that's the case. But people who did, like, 10, 20 or so, it don't take them long to get used to being free. The food, everything. It don't take them long. They're not institutionalized for life. So no matter what you raise a young man to tolerate and, believe is normal, um, if you introduce him to something better, he's going to embrace that. It won't take long. I saw a video on Twitter of a guy challenging themselves to squat a 400-pound woman. I did a short. I think it was a short video on that. Um, the stuff black men accept would never be accepted by other. Yeah, that's because we're grown to accept it. Black women was raised to do whatever they want, and black men was raised to do whatever black women want. I want y'all to remember that. Black women was raised to do whatever they want, and black men was raised to do whatever black women want. Get it? Got it? Good. All right. But once again, men are speaking against it, and women are speaking against the men who are speaking against it. Now, we're going to talk about the woman on the thumbnail, unless I change the thumbnail, of course. But we're going to talk about that. She has a video. Her name is Kimberly Michelle, I think it is. No, I don't know. Oh no, it's Michelle Lee. It's Michelle Lee because she is light skinned and she's something interesting. So we're going to talk about that for a second. All right, here we go. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the beginning. Okay, while that buffers, here we go. Okay, while that buffers a bit, let me see. Kevin, what's good? And I'm Nincent. What's good to you? All right.
To my channel for a while now. I just didn't know how to go about it. I want to talk about it is normalized, especially when it comes to dating. Or is this black, or do you consider yourself black, or what's your background? Okay, so I am from Canada. So first of all, I'm not from the USA. Identify as black, a black woman. I was born and raised here in Canada. My parents are from the Caribbean. Both are from the Caribbean. Not Dominican Republic, but Dominica.
Okay. So Chantel is black. You're mentioning countries that has high populations of black people. You aren't necessarily black unless you're black. It really don't matter. But to me, as far as what I think about you, but I want to make clear that there might be an agenda here. Kind of like, when people were questioning the blackness of, and it's still in question, of the former vice president and past presidential Democratic nominee. Well, she wasn't the nominee, but the candidate, I guess, Kamala Harris. You can be from these places and not be black or be, like Indian white mix or all kind of stuff. You're considering yourself black. We're going to do a deep dive into that in a moment.
I'm aware I have a light complexion, so um, you know, in the black community, we would say I'm light skinned. With that being said, I know that I have a different experience than a dark skinned black woman. So I am fully aware of that before getting into this. Come on, you guys have seen for years now on TV, in movies, the dark skin or black women in general, when they are, you know, compared to any other race of a woman on the screen and whatever, they always kind of make sure the black woman is seen as not as attractive, or let's say more aggressive, or like, not so desired. So it's something that has been happening in the media for a long, long, long time. The more I got older, the more I realized this issue, and stereotypes exist for a reason. But I
Okay, she's on to something. Somebody say, "Hear me out." She's bad though. Yeah, that's true. Nevertheless, she's on to something. There is a there. It would not be in Hollywood's best interest, at least at the time, since its infancy, since its heyday, to really present a black woman as more attractive than a white woman, because white men, who was the majority population and the top spenders of the time and probably today, they they're not really into black women like that, and even if they were, they wouldn't admit it to themselves or openly. So why promote them in a beauty aspect? Also, doing so would make white women uncomfortable with any dynamic that a black woman and a white man has going on, whether it is um, whether she's the maid or the teacher of the children or something like that. Like it would just like stir racial tensions, because nothing is more tense than a woman seeing a more beautiful woman in her presence, especially when she is beautiful in a way that the first woman can't replicate. So as insecure as black women are with white women, I should say, white men did not want their women to walk around with their insecurity. So they didn't, just throw Pam Grier on the big screen all the time, like that. And when I say white men didn't, because she typically did black exploitation movies. So yeah, they did, however, promote the Oprah image. They did, however, make sure that Whoopi Goldberg was famous. That she became a household name. And Florida Evans, she was originally Good Times was a spinoff of a show called Mod. It was either Mod or Ma. It was a very old show, which I didn't watch, but I just got information that. So she was the maid there, and she had like this whole mammy persona going on. And then somebody said, "Hey, let's show her real life. Let's show her life outside of a guest speaker on the show." Kind of like if they took Jeffrey from Fresh Prince of Bel Air and did a spinoff about his life when he's not working. So it was really it started off like the reason why they chose Esther Rolls in that position was because she already came up through this whole white depiction of black woman. But when a black man took over and made his own show, she was already there. But every other woman was on some Thelma Evans type stuff. Every other woman was on some Winona type stuff. When we get the opportunity, when you look at our black exploitation movies, when we get the opportunity to show black women, it was always in a good light. What do you think Soul Train was? This was really giving black women an opportunity to show themselves in a good light. So yes, um, white men did do that to you in protection of their own women, and black men did the opposite. So why did black women pick up the mantle and started to, take on this quote unquote sassy role themselves? Well, we're going to get into that.
Do not find it correct to normalize, bashing black women.
Um, Critiquing bad behavior is not no reason. Sometimes it's uncalled for, and many times it is called for. You got to put that out there. And trust me, this isn't something, anything I myself, anything that the Black Manosphere, anything that the Red Pill community does to Black women's interests pales in comparison to what they do to their own image. The things that they do to their own image is just atrocious. We were the ones who tried to combat it. We were the ones that we made music videos that made y'all look like goddesses. We didn't make Oprah. We made the Cosby Show. We made Felicia Rashad. We made Lisa Bonet. I mean, we made Aunt Viv, and we made light skin Aunt Viv, and we made Hillary Banks. Ashley Banks can get it. We didn't do this. So, for a very long period of time, white men wanted a negative image of black women, black men wanted a positive image of black women, and black women surprisingly wanted a negative image of themselves that they can turn on and off when they want to. Oh, y'all don't believe me. Y'all don't believe me. I got the receipts. But more importantly, I was there, and I was actually shocked to see it. So, yeah, we're gonna talk. I was gonna talk about that right now. Somebody mentioned Moesha. So before Moesha, oh, by the way, black men made Pam and Gina too. But before Moesha came out, there was of course the hypes, and I was a teenager of it. There was a hype, Moesha, and there was a belief that amongst the black girls who went to high school, that Moesha was going to be hood because of the name. They just had like a trailer, and in the trailer she was like, "Everybody say Moesha," and they assumed that Brandy's character was going to be hoochified. I actually did too. No front, and I did too. I thought that was going to be the case also. So when it turned out that she came from a suburban family with a successful father and a responsible father, and she actually was not what her name would suggest, then it became problematic. Trouble. Then the show, it's not like people didn't watch the show, or young black girls didn't watch the show. But what they did do, and this is what threw me for a loop. was they gravitated towards the Kim character, the Kim Parker character. In fact, so much that they made a spinoff featuring the fat one. They made a spinoff for her because she was the popular character on the show. And that, of course, became the Parkers, and then that's how Monique got introduced to the television world, and y'all know where the story takes off from there. This is black women doing this to themselves. They preferred the fat image over the more attractive one. To be perfectly honest, Niecy was the hottest, but nevertheless, this is the image that they preferred for themselves. Povich, anyone? Jerry Springer, anyone? This is them doing it to themselves. So when you see black men and black women talk about the image of black women, it's really us fighting to protect the image that y'all choose to destroy. Somebody said Countess Vaughn didn't get along with Brandy. They didn't get along, according to an interview that they did with the youngest boy, Miles. They didn't get along because her character was outshining Brandy's character, at least from his point of view. Let's continue.
Why black women are loud.
Once again, I don't need you to mention or disrespect black women. There's loud women in every culture. So can you move forward without mentioning race or ethnicity?
And don't get it twisted, bro. We do not care what race you prefer to date or who you like. Just don't hop on here degrading black women. Then it just be so unprovoked. Like they'll be like, I like white women because black women, like, why they have to love her? I ain't even gonna lie. I blame they damn daddies, man. They probably was dogging out their mama, seeing that, then got one bad experience from a black girl, and then and then the double standards be so weird. Like I noticed, like with Latina girls, if they like aggressive, they call it feisty and attractive. Then if it's a black girl, it's loud and ghetto. Like, bro, it just really be that internalized hate. They don't like their mama for real.
The thing that gets to me the most is it.
All right, dude, slow. So we talked about yesterday, and for those of you who missed it, hit the like button. Those who had missed my lesson yesterday about the difference between a feisty Latina and a black woman with an attitude, the feisty Latina focuses her ire towards the defense of the man and the family, where black women focus it against the black man and the family. Get it? Got it? Good. Whenever somebody say y'all don't be liking y'all mama like that, there's always this underlying presumption that your mama was a good woman. What if your mama pimped you out to prison dudes for weed? And I'm not making this up from personal experience or anything like that. I'm actually getting this from The Wire. On The Wire, Michael's character was, let's just call it, interrupted by the mom's boyfriend who went to jail and then got back, and she brought him back in the house with her even younger son because, that's just how. But hey, if you dislike her, then you got issues. What if your mama's like Tupac mom and was a crackhead? 17 years old, kicked out on the streets. Wait, what? When I was young, me and my mom had beef. 17 years old, kicked out on the streets. So he's supposed to treat her as if she is Aunt Viv? He's supposed to treat her as if she is Claire Huxtable? So you see the dynamic that we're dealing with here. We're supposed to ignore the faults unless they choose to exploit the faults themselves. They want to basically be able to act a fool, but then when called foolish, say, "Oh no, don't do that. You bashing." Don't work that way, sweetie. Nice tits though.
will be the blackest man that will come out and say the most vile, disrespectful, like discussing things about black women publicly. And what looks so bad, this is what I think. I find it to me, it looks so bad that you bring down your own women to bring other races up. It's giving self hate, okay? And it's really deep when you think about it. You're saying you dislike certain things.
Okay, now she talking stupid. You dislike certain things that you yourself have. Absolutely. I dislike a lot of things that I myself have. I don't want a chick with a goatee. I do not. I damn sure don't want one with a penis. I do not. I do not want one with big arms. I do not. I don't want one with hair under her armpits. I do not. You should literally go F yourself. If you feel that a person is unable or incapable of disliking things that he have on a female, then he should go F himself. I got 10 and a half regular size feet, I guess. But my toes aren't done and pretty much never will be. I don't like that. We want women to be women and men to be men. So if we dislike a person for not being woman enough, it has nothing to do with how we feel about ourselves. Get it? Got it? Good.
You speak about it as if it's disgusting. Like you wouldn't look at it, you wouldn't touch it. At the
Touch
end of the day,
a man's penis. That's it's not that I dislike my own.
I actually don't care
But if
too
you
much
really
about
believe that, then give me something to touch. Yeah, ha. What's going on, artist?
these men, and I don't even want any black woman to like beg any guy that speaks like that about them to love them, to like them, to look at them, to even consider them pretty. If these men that like that give you pretty and be like, oh, you know, you look pretty for a black girl.
Okay. What she's saying here,
Whether
what she's saying here is that if you are mean to black women, I'm not going to mess with you. If you don't call out the elephant in the woman, or if you call out the elephant in the woman, you lose out any and all opportunity with me. Guess what, sweetie? I don't have any opportunities with you. And I know this. Therefore, I say what I wanna, what I wanna, what I wanna. I mean, stop threatening me with a sexual opportunity that I didn't have in the first place.
the man is black or white or Asian or whatever, if someone tells you that you are pretty for, and then you know, a black girl,
Honestly, it happened to me so many times. It's funny how a woman can take being called pretty as an insult. And yeah,
for me, it was a big turn off. It's like no way. I don't accept colorism at all. Also, so when men
men actually say this. Like, because it goes so far against purpose that I couldn't really think of a man that's sound of mind to actually walk up to a woman that he is attracted to in the first, or a black man to do that, because we're very aware of how much it bothers black women. So if you have a genuine interest in her, why would you trigger her like that? Um, yeah. And here's what I'm getting at. I don't think that this has ever actually happened to her. I'm calling cap. All right.
That never sat well with me too. It's giving real self-hate, and you need to work on yourself, especially.
And I think the whole intro to the video, why she's trying so hard to be black, um, is because she wants in on the sisterhood, because the sisterhood will give like a lot of clicks and views.
Those bros, whatever you call them, when they're talking about their preferences and everything. I've seen some videos where they really, really bring down black women, right?
Talking about me. And I'm not a person of color. I'm black. We're called a lot of things. I choose black because it has the least syllables.
And they're speaking to like white men, or like just like a group of white people. And they are so comfortable talking so bad about their own women, or like women of color, or just
Now, I do agree with that. I don't do that. I don't really sit around with white men and talk about black women in a negative way. Unless, I mean, there are caveats to that. Unless we're talking about the plurality of Western women, and then then something can be said as far as um, individual black women, because all the traits of Western women is personified more so in black women, because white women have are becoming fatter. Black women are already there. So white women are where black women were 20 years ago, and as far as the undesirability goes. So to talk about it in that sense, like, is to describe what killed the canary in the coal mine. However, to a guy who's not, where you're not talking about anything like that, that's not a topic or subject matter, and you just bring up your own women, as a subject to bash, then it really means that you don't really have much else to talk about, especially if it's something that he can't relate to in any way, shape, or form. King Pick says this woman is lucky that she's pretty. Every pretty woman is lucky that she's pretty. Being born pretty is like a man being born rich, like Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and stuff like that. It means that the barriers in life is completely removed. It's just out of your way. There's no barriers in life. There's no obstacles for a man. If you're rich, when a man is born, his largest obstacle in life is to make money to secure himself and his family. That's his biggest obstacle in life. That you spend the first 12 years in K through 12 trying to do that, and then you spend, every year afterwards trying to figure out what the best way to do that. If you was born and you don't have to scrape for dollars, then that's it. I mean, if you are a woman and you're born genetically prone to beauty, it's the same thing. Traditionally, your whole life's purpose was to secure a man and make a family with that man. And that was the hardest thing you had to do in life. And to secure a man of quality, if you were born beautiful, that becomes very easy. Very, very, very easy. Somebody says, I have yet to see a black man just bash black women in front of white men, but I always see it the other way around. Well, white men just say women because they're the default, because they're the majority. But yeah, I mean, if that's the topic, okay. So, um, when Myron from Fresh and Fit does it, he does look foolish because he's doing it to men who, quite frankly, don't have respect for anyone in the race. They're just looking for confirmation, and they're really on some divide and conquer stuff. But Myron's a little stupid in that regard. But no, there is a way that if it's in a conversation in a context where they're talking about all women, and then the conversation naturally flows to subsets of Western women, then there you go. But we're gonna explore that a little bit more because she's gonna get into that.
Accepted? Do you think you're gonna get more accepted by doing that? They're gonna turn around, talk bad about you, and talk
I
bad
I
about your women.
had this neighbor. I had this neighbor, and he was in the apartment across from mine, and he never had nothing bad to say about black people to me, but he had all the bad stuff to say about Latinos and and Asians. All of it. All of it. And I never joined in. I was like, what's up with this dude? And all the time I'm thinking like this man calls black people N words when we not there. And if he kicking it with a Latino dude, that's what he doing. And if he kicking it with an Asian dude, that's what he doing. He was weird with it. He it'll be just like a Mexican dude in the laundromat. And he I don't know. But I do know that that is a very real thing.
You gotta think about it. People talk about Black people as a whole community, women and men. So you cannot think you're safe because okay, let me talk smack about women. Let me talk to women to try to kind of like make me look like I'm on his side. I don't like black women, you know. Then sit there, let white men or any man who is not black in front of their faces also talk bad about black women. And I swear, I'm sure it hits them in a certain way because they probably have a black woman in their family, a mother, a sister, that it might feel offensive, but they're keeping real quiet. It started that. You meet people so come to talk bad about you because you do it. They're like, oh, he doesn't respect his women.
But the black women don't respect themselves. Y'all made it comfortable, and y'all have since Hattie McDaniel.
What is it? What does it do if I? What does it do if I do it? And most of these people who do it because they're like, oh, I can do it with this guy. He doesn't even respect women. So like respect women. Let me add some more things, some more stereotypical things. I never seen any other race as much as I see.
I never seen any other race group with such ill women. So as she was saying that, I tried to think about like because of my line of work, I have like I'm connected to a lot of Indian people and Orientals as well. And I will say this, and it could be just a profession, but I'm going to start with Indian men. Indian women are not Indians men's first choice, like not by a long shot. Um, yeah, not even close. And it could be because of social circumstances kind of limit their options to Indian women, and they just want to sample something new. Put it like this: many Indian men In fact, I would venture to say most Indian men have only been with Indian women ever. So I'm pretty sure the curiosity of black and white women and Latino women just stimulates their imagination to an infinite degree. They don't really talk bad about Indian women, but they do talk up about white women a lot, a lot, a lot, and they don't get this type of pushback. In fact, actually, I did meet an Indian dude that used to talk crap. Uh, he's the one that showed me a video. There was a video. He showed it to me years ago, years ago, um, where this Indian woman just slapped this Indian dude, and he slapped her back, and it was like, how could she slap me? How could she slap me? How could she? How could she? And then it was about like 20 other Indian dudes that just came to jump him and stuff, but they wasn't about that life. The whole thing was weird. I'm watching this, I'm cracking up. I was like, why did she? I was like, why did she slap him? Like, what made this bro think it was cool to slap him? And he was like, because he was like, they're the most stuck up bees on the planet, and in our culture they treat them like goddesses, so they think that they are or something. He showed me another one where a man bumped into her on a crowded bus and she slapped him, and then he showed me some stuff. Um, but he's the only one. He's the only one. There is a there, and if you talk to them long enough, they'll mention it to you. But that has to be the conversation. It will come off as weird if I, out of nowhere, just brought up, black women, or if he, out of nowhere, brought up a disdain for that. you know so is what it is. Have I talked to some Indian people about just Western women in general? Absolutely. Because they come from a culture that, many of them, India has a lot of subcultures. They come from a culture where they marry at 25. That's when their mom arranges their wives for them at 25. Now, people think that they mom just go pick some ugly village broad. No, the way it works, and I actually learned this directly from them, is that they interview. The mom picks like a handful of women who would be interesting suitors, and he interviews them and picks the best one. I don't know what this interview consists of. I'm actually kind of curious, but he does have some say so in it, and he does get to see them first. He gets to see their face first and stuff like that. So he's not picking a chick with a one eyebrow or some crap like that. So that's how that goes. So when they meet somebody who's over 25 and single, they'll ask, like, um, why aren't you married? I'll explain to them, like, not only do we come from a culture that don't arrange marriages, Western women are not as complacent as Asian women, not by a long shot. And this is something that I'm sure that you realize on some level, but you, especially as an Asian man, will come to realize that on an extraordinary level if you actually ever try to date a Western woman. So, and maybe from there the conversation would go into black women in particular, but that's not the norm. That because, quite frankly, we don't have to mention it. We don't have to say it. They already know. Every race, every creed, every group in the world knows this. There are Eskimos that know what is going on with black women in America. We don't have to say nothing. Y'all said it yourselves. But let's continue.
The black culture do that. How do you expect people to respect us if we're not respecting each other? If there's a war and
This war. I cannot stand bras like this who like, how can you expect blah 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 if there's a war going on? We did not start this war. And we didn't start fighting in this war until about 50 years. until about 50 years. That's like that mustache guy in the 1940s saying to everybody else in the world, like, hey, you know, um, we really shouldn't be fighting each other. It's like, what? Well, yeah, how's South America and Africa gonna respect us if we're fighting amongst each other? What? What? Are you kidding me?
your women, talking bad about black women. Like you're even laughing with the man who was talking bad about your women.
James and Fuha are currently facing backlash for laughing at an insensitive joke about black women on the Flagrant podcast when Andrew Schultz mentioned the black girlfriend effect.
Wait, what is the black girlfriend effect?
Oh, you not gonna know about
blow
this?
up the other culture.
Yeah, so you'll see a guy who's had a black girlfriend. All of a sudden, he's got buzz cut, like clean shape up.
They shave their hair because they start losing it because they're so stressed being around this black girl complaining about shit all the time. They grow a beard
They
because
set the dick
there's
up.
more.
That is funny. That is hilarious. So all these diverse swirlers, this is what they actually think about you. This is what they actually think about you. It's um to me, that's not what she was describing earlier. They brought up the topic, yes, but they weren't talking bad about black women. They weren't talking bad about black women and then the white man just join in on black men bashing black women. No, these guys were talking about the black wife effect, which would probably be considered a positive of black women. And the white guy who already, just like I say, they already know black women. The world already knows black women. The white guy just said what he said and they laughed because quite frankly it was funny. I mean, like I say, this has been going on for 50 freaking years. And this is something that y'all do to yourselves. This is the reputation y'all have wanted for yourselves. I'm strong. It's like, okay.
Look right. It does not look right. And I know it doesn't feel right. But in that moment, I don't know if you're trying to get some validation from these men or these.
Man, in the example that you gave, it wasn't the black men that were bashing. They were laughing. Meaning that they weren't doing that to be accepted. If anything, they were saying, oh no, the black wife effect is if you get a black wife, she alters your appearance to something that's more her liking. That's not them trying to ingratiate themselves with whoever this guy was.
Your own people, they don't see you as respectable either. They're gonna turn around and talk bad about your women. They're already doing it. They're already talking bad about your women. So when they're upset, to say, God think who like other.
Here we go. Give peace a chance. For you, not me. Like, I want to continue the whole, dusty beta male bash machine that black women have turned. I'm not going to speak to black women. Oh, no, no, no. I'm going to speak to black men. Why? Because if I speak against black women, they'll talk trash. They'll say I'm not FBA, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and I will lose. I'll get canceled. But black men, they're going to say boobies and continue to watch and listen. Hit the like button, people.
People think, oh well, let's go. It's just so normalized now. It's actually scary. You guys don't realize how normalized as it is, when I see beautiful, soft Black women, gorgeous Black women, very intelligent Black women, and I will not, this might be the only video I'm going to make about this because it's something that I have been seeing more and more and more. I am not, and I refuse to believe that Black women are undesirable. Whoever starts, and
Okay. Being the least desirable and being undesirable are two completely different things. Nobody is saying that 100% of black women is uneffable, but they're saying as women go, they're the least effable. That's what they're saying. And it's not just black men that are saying that. And the other groups of men that are saying this aren't saying this because black men are saying this.
I will not ever, 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 I will never believe that. You can never make me believe that. Okay? Black women are women, intelligent Black women. And if
Whenever somebody says there's a lot of, it means that that thing is the exception, not the norm. Somebody said there's a lot of Oriental men with large penises. Like, okay, that's the exception, not the norm. There's a lot of Asian guys in the NBA. Okay, that's the exception, not the norm. I mean, yeah.
most of the time it's unprovoked, unasked. People just want to tell you that I don't want you, I would never want you. It's giving upsets. It's giving are you sure? you know, it is not cool to be judged for the way you look only, okay? And also be careful when out happens to men. What?
Oh Christ. I can't stand it when women like this are only talking to black men. Be careful when you date out of your race not to be fetishized. Why? 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 When I was a kid, I had a real good masturbation. A spectacular masturbation. You want to know what it was to? Um, the movie Mandingo. So Mandingo came out when Ken Norton was champion, or when he was preparing to fight Ali. It's starring Ken Norton, and Ken Norton played the role of a Mandingo slave, which is something that you would probably recognize from the movie Django. Um, Apparently, whites thought it would be interesting to breed slaves for purposes of entertainment combat to the death. So he was a Mandingo slave and he was bred for that purpose. So he had the physique that, of course, one would like. Now, at the same time, there was this, and I'm not going to get too deep into it, there was a very strange tension going on between the master of the house and his wife, who actually was his cousin as well. And um, they weren't they weren't getting down like that. He was getting down with the slave girls, but they weren't getting down like that. So when he was away, she calls Ken Norton into the room, and she like, um, you gonna do this, or I'm gonna say you did it. and he gonna believe me over you. So what's it gonna be? So what's it gonna be? And then they got down with the get down. Yep. And that was some good jacking. So yes, depending on the fetish, I don't care. I truly don't care. So then let me get this straight. Are you saying that I should not sleep with a white woman because she has a sexual fetish towards me? Is that what you're saying? And by the way, you can be fetishized over other stuff, not just your race. Should you not be with them for that as well? Like if a woman has a nerd fetish, or if you're a black man and you're a thug and she just so happened to have a thug fetish, should you not sleep with her for that? Or if you're a black man who is a thug and this is a black woman who also has a thug fetish, should you not sleep with her because she fetishizes what you are? Should I not sleep with a woman who has nerd fetishes? This is her saying, don't sleep with white women. And I'm okay with that. If and only if you, and I'm pointing to her with the lips and the tits and all that stuff. Like, if you pick up the slack, if you will do everything that she was going to do for me, okay, I won't mess with her. Those are the only terms and conditions I will accept.
I know some men it won't bother them because sometimes they're just trying to hit. But what I'm saying is you got to be careful that like
Oh, so I was thinking, like, and what do you mean sometimes we just want to hit? We always want to hit. We always want to hit. What in it? What in? I don't believe that a marriage should be based on a fetish, if that's what you're saying. However, we always want to hit, even within marriage.
when you're dating out of your race, you got to make sure that that person is trying to be with you for the right reasons. All right.
Okay, so she has a video here called Signs She's Genuinely Into You. So she is a dating coach for men. Oh gosh, I hate it. Shout out to Danica Marie. Because Danica Marie, some people called her a dating coach for men and that there shouldn't be female dating coaches for men. The thing about Danica Marie is that she's actually talking to the women. And she's not coaching men to date them, she's coaching men to avoid toxic women. But she's talking about areas but when a woman looks like this and she tries to coach men, what she's doing is she's saying how you can get a woman like me, but nobody got you. You're still ungotten. Okay, so somebody has a comment here that says criticism isn't disrespect, and she responded. I'm going to see her response because that's actually a poignant statement. So here we go. Bringing down a whole race. Here we go with the whole all thing. Here we go with the whole all thing. Just so they can later say not all. When you get an F on a test, do you ever say, I didn't get them all wrong? No, but you got 59% or less of them wrong. That's why it's an F. I got most of them right. Yes, but you got enough of them wrong to earn you an F. Bringing down a whole race of women to bringing down other races. What? Bringing down a whole race of women to bringing up other races. Why is that? Okay. In the example that she gave, where the dudes was laughing at a joke that the white person said. By the way, notice how there was no disdain for the white dude. Notice that, because Mr. Clean could do no wrong. Shout out to King Sigma. Notice that there's no there was no ire towards the white man. So bringing down another race of women, bringing down a whole race of women to bring up other races. Okay, um, I want to hear you talk crap about Dr. Umar. Go on. Um, Black Queens forever, Snow Bunnies never. Isn't he bringing down a whole race of women to bring up other races? Yeah, yeah, but yeah, right. Nice tits. Okay. So it says using nothing but stereotypes. Stereotypes exist for a reason. Using nothing but stereotypes in your past personal trauma. Yeah, it's not an individual trauma. That's why it's a whole sphere of men with the same issue. To generalize women by the color of their skin is disrespectful. You just called other groups of women who fetishize. Like I said, in every race there's a stereotype and good and bad people. No, no, it don't work that way. If something has a high concentration of something in it and that thing is bad, then you note it. Kind of like in every bottle of water, there's probably a little bit of, I don't know, let's just say zinc in it. However, there's an enormously high, or bacteria in it. However, there is an enormously higher concentration of bacteria in a swamp water than it is in a bottle of Avion. All water have bacteria in it. Shut the hell up. Good and bad people. It's not right to judge or disrespect someone based on that only. Holy crap. Okay. What other races of men turn on? What other races turn on their men for government assistance? He set himself up. She's gonna say it was more white women on it, like, and she's gonna pretend like she don't understand, per capita or averages or percentiles. Of course, this is your response. People on the internet, they are funny. Oh, she didn't say that. She's not even that clever. Okay. Um, somebody else said something. She responded to. Let's see. Black women do this and have been doing this for decades. Thank you. Thank you. On all known shows for thank you. Thank you. So this is a guy that get it, but isn't this the dude that said, oh no, that's Brandon Jamal, I think. But says it's only just recent that black men have been voicing dislike about black women, but black women been voicing this openly for decades and still do. But you're right. We live in a broken system that was never made for us. Okay. He still want to smash. Let's see. And I do too. Um, it's been like this on both sides. Holy crap. So where's the black man color purple equivalent that came out in 1984? Where's that? But it's rare. Holy crap, this woman is delusional. It's rare a black woman will bring down a black man as a whole to date other races. Holy crap! Holy crap! Holy crap! So deep within her titties, she feels that divestors and swirlers don't exist. They just don't exist. Oh, this is baffling. Most black women in the USA want to date black men. No, they don't. They want to be single. If they really wanted to date black men, then they would look like you and treat us better. What the hell are you talking about? Of course, if you wanted to date black men you would just date one, but we'll get into that later. All right. So it says, I'm just going to read the ones that she responded to. Um, the way most act and talk is not respectable. Dang, they're selling. See, I'm glad my wisdom is spreading. Most sell their bodies and still want to be treated as a queen. This is true. And make no mistake, what she is doing is she is selling her body. She knows that she's an attractive woman, and she knows that, that's why her audience is men. She knows that she will attract men. This is basically an attractive woman telling you what women like. So she knows she's using her body to make money, and she still wants to be treated as a queen. The hatred stuff that comes out in their of their mouths is horrible. Most don't bring value to anything no more. This is true. Most just good for looks and sexuality. No, most are not good for looks because most are fat. Um, that's all most women show, especially on social media. Okay, this was shade. This was shade. These are women like every other race. So other women do it too. Okay. So other women are open to critique from their men and other men. And white men do critique white women. All right. This is the last one I'm gonna read. I always seen the disrespect black women face, and it comes from self-hate and racism. Okay. So of course, this is why it's important, especially for us black men, to defend and uplift our. She's not gonna fuck you, sir. She's not going to. I know you want to fuck her. I want to fuck her. She's not gonna fuck you. So you think you're gonna say this, and she's going to be like, "All right, so what's your Insta?" I love black women. Nothing will change that. Okay, keep living. Thank you, and that's what you get. That's your pandering. That's your pandering. Not even a half a nipple. All right, so moving on. She had something else to say, and we're definitely going to get into that. As y'all get into that like button, we are going to talk about it. And basically, she had some advice for men. And I'm going to do a separate show on an episode of King of the Hill that I want to cover. But let me see if I can find it. All right. Okay, give me one moment. Hit the like button. Oh, crap. She's a single mom. Okay, so she has a video called Why Most Men Are Single that I clicked on. And I'm going to click on it again. I'm going to watch it again with you all. So she's a single mom to boot. Okay. Or she might be. I'm just going off the title of her video.
And focus on themselves.
By the way, whenever a woman, especially one that looks like her, opens up with, "Hey guys," she is targeting men like her tits. Get it? Got it? Good.
Hey guys, it's Kim. Welcome to my channel. I want to start and say that this video is not about who, just don't want to be dating, that's fine. Cheers to you. It's the best thing you can do. Okay. Especially if you're not where you want to be in life, or, financially, mentally, or physically yourself. So this is not about these men.
Wait
Okay? I'm not saying
a minute. Wait a minute. Not dating is the best thing you should be doing, but she has other videos where she tells men to try to date. We'll get into that.
No. This video, okay, is specifically about these online comments I'm getting and that I'm seeing about men who are whining and complaining about not getting much luck with women, and women don't look at them. They're giving up. They're looking at the next guy, okay, what he's getting, how he's doing, and getting discouraged. A victim that these guys deep down, as much as they're like F this, F that, they want someone. They're lonely. They feel, like they're just giving up. And it's not even just giving up on women, it's giving up on themselves. This is what's sad, and this is what I want to talk about. I know I will get hate just because I am a woman, okay? I am used to it, and that's okay. Honestly, I've been seeing a lot of men replying to these type of comments, okay? But it's like impossible to change that mindset, and I'm not here to change the world, okay? But I just wanted to talk about it. Why are these guys where they are? Why are they down bad? Why are they feeling this way? And for sure, a lot of people can have bad experiences with women, and the hate, anger, frustration in your heart. And of course, it's easy to unleash that online behind a screen. Of course, it's like the easiest way to express yourself, right? Without being face to face with anyone. The thing is, carrying this frustration, this anywhere in life is going to help you, is going to keep you stuck where you are.
She has a point. However, keeping silent about it isn't going to help you get anywhere either. It's not. Now, what would help get you somewhere is understanding what's going on. And I think part of the understanding process is it's not necessarily you. Um, because let's just say you're a guy who is undesirable for observable reasons. You're socially economically low, and you have poor genetics. In addition to, you don't work out or exercise. Let's just say that you have these things going against you. There was a time when none of that mattered. There was a time where you can have those things working against you on some Homer Simpson stuff, and there was still a Marge Simpson waiting for you, on some Fred Flintstone stuff, and there was still a Wilma waiting for you. So it's really just understanding that times are different, and the expectation and requirement is far different than it was some time ago. So even if you do fit in those categories, it's not necessarily you, but it's the time that you're in. You're in a much more fiercely competitive time. We're going to get into why that is as this show progress. In the meantime, I need y'all to hit that like button.
But it's going to keep you stuck where you are with your insecurities, with your misery, and you're just going to become bitter, okay? And it's not only about men that, okay, men are the same.
She's trying to make this seem balanced. It's not.
So the thing is you do not want to carry on in life putting everyone in the same basket.
No one is saying all. No one is saying all. No one is saying all. If her only defense is not all, then she's not fit for debate. Like another light-skinned Jamaican woman who attempted anyway.
That mode, okay, and you're not giving anyone a chance. I've seen comments that are like, I'm giving up because Chad and Tyrone just had.
Yes, yes, you have. Now you're just lying.
But basically, they use these terms to describe like good looking men. So, Chad, I think that's a white man, and Tyrone is, I guess, a black man. Okay.
I guess Tyrone is black. Your livelihood, you're a professional YouTuber. Your livelihood, for men, your livelihood is dependent on knowing exactly what's going on, male concerns, male obstacles, and things like that, and trying to get what they want, which is you. So don't pretend like you haven't known this for quite some time, what a Chad and Tyrone is. And I guess Tyrone is a black guy. Okay, if you have to guess at something like that, then you're not fit to speak on Black American issues at all. If you cannot correlate the name Tyrone to a black person, a black man, then you're ill-informed or stupid or both. Truth of the matter is you can. You're just being dishonest.
It's not even funny, but at the same time, it's like, damn. Think about Chad and Tyrone. These men, what I understand is like they don't have to do much and they just get what they want, right? Using this
By
as
the way,
why.
a Chad or Tyrone don't necessarily exist. I'm going to repeat this, and this is so those who do complain, because I understand that that complaint exists. Um, Chad and Tyrone don't exist. I'm going to say that one more time because I want that to sink in. Chad and Tyrone don't exist. There are guys who believe that there is this genetic being of a man who all he had to do was be this genetic being of a man, and women drop their panties to him because he is this genetic being of a man. This guy, I'm not going to call him Chad or Tyrone. I'm going to call him Sir Arthur Fonzarelli. You know, the guy that walks into Happy Days. I forget the name of the place in Happy Days, but he walks into Happy Days and he hits the wall, and a woman just comes out of nowhere, because he's just so, oh, so swagnificent. Yes, Fonzarelli exists in the past. In present time, he's just some short dude that when he hits the wall, women are saying, "Hey, look at this! Look at this little nigga hitting the wall." What, he think I'm supposed to come over there because he hit the wall? I don't even think they make characters like that on television anymore. See, Chad and Tyrone don't rightly exist anymore, and probably hasn't since the early 2000s, because women in general, not just black women, have expanded their exceptionalism criteria to three categories of exceptionalism to them, not just one. Meaning, and I was here for this. In the 90s, if you were a guy and you were exceptional in one way, that was enough to get you an exceptional sex life. Now it's three. You have to be exceptional in three ways, which means Chad, and Tyrone, who are guys who are noted for just their looks alone, they just meet one criteria. They need two others. They need to either be, have the look, wealth, and charisma, looks, wealth, and sense of humor, looks, wealth, and body, wealth, body, and charisma, wealth, body, and sense of humor, money, sense of humor, and looks. They need three things. And these three things have to be valuable to her. Social standing, humor, and money. Like Kevin Hart. They require three things now, which is why it don't exist. And one of those things don't even have to be looks. So, and I know from the point of view of a guy, especially a younger guy, who, okay, here's where this misconception of Chad and Tyrone comes from. It comes from the belief that if she's not giving it up to me, she must be giving it up to someone. And if I were a woman and I could give it up to anyone, who would I give it up to? And that's the most attractive person, because men are visual creatures. So it comes from that. It comes from that thinking that if she's not giving it up to me, she's giving it up to someone who is more attractive than me physically. When the truth of the matter is, she is giving it up to a rose shaped vibrator. And I'm talking about the one on the screen. Oh, Chad and Tyrone. No. Well, she just shot me down. Yeah, she shot Chad down too. And she shot Tyrone down too. She didn't call Tyrone. She didn't call him.
Do I have to work on myself? Why do I have to do all this effort? Why do I have to focus on myself versus this is getting instead of focusing on yourself?
I agree to that.
Whoever you consider Chad or Tyrone, there's someone else that is even luckier than him in that sense. That is getting an easier way in life.
Okay, now that's just stupid. I mean, because that person would be Chad to the person that you're talking about that the other guy thought was Chad. So you lost me with that.
Life, as you guys would describe it. Why do I have to work on myself and he doesn't? Who the hell cares about what this other person is doing? You don't really know what's going on. It can look like he's living a
Okay, yeah, she's way off because I mean, Chad does work on himself. It's called the gym. It's called getting a haircut every 3 days.
life. You don't know what's going on in his life. And this is the number one thing that can just mess you looking more miserable. Then you look in here and you're like, oh, damn. But anyways, I don't because Tyrone and okay. Mindset only keeps you from growing, progressing, and thriving. And here, why? You are focused on the wrong things. Either you're focused on the wrong women, okay? It's probably women that you want, but yeah, but completely stopping your growth process. And a lot of men don't want to do the work. And I'm just going to be, a lot of men just don't want to do the work. And I'm just going to be honest. I'm not
Okay, I want y'all to put a stick pad on this. I want y'all to remember what she's just saying right now about a lot of you guys don't want to put in the work, because she has another video where she's saying that Guys be working too hard. They be spending too much time in the mirror. They be spending too much, so she's all over the place. She's all over the place, which is where I would bust on her. But nevertheless, we're gonna get into that.
Chad and Tyrone, shut. If I hear Chad and Tyrone one more time, okay. If I hear Chad and Tyrone one more time, I'm aggressive and kind and loving. I hear that even in a comment like, dude, are you serious? Like, stop that. You're comparing yourself. Comparison feeds your insecurities and keeps you from building your own confidence, okay? You guys are here watching videos on how to build confidence, but you're still thinking about what Chad and Tyrone is doing. Please, become the Chad and Tyrone. Or Chad or Tyrone, whatever. Another reason why you are in this state and you feel like, wow, I'm just giving up and I don't know what to do. You might be consuming toxic content online, okay? That is just keeping you there. That is, fuel. It might feel good on the spot, like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's true. Oh my gosh, these guys know what I'm going through, what I'm feeling. But at the end of the day, these content creators that are toxic and they're feeding into your insecurities and making you more angry, miserable, okay? They're laughing all the way to the bank. They're laughing their way all the way. They're laughing all the way to the bank. And probably most of them.
Who do you bank with? Who do you bank with? Because I want to know, how far do you have to laugh? This is major projection. Guys come on here, to help other guys who are going through something similar to what they're going through, or they just have a general understanding. But these guys are laughing their way to the bank. You are a relationship coach to guys that want to fuck you. You are a relationship coach to guys that wish to fuck you. Who's laughing their way to the bank? There's nothing to really laugh at. When you guys send me Cash App or Super Chat, I'm like, ha 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 ha, you stupid loser. But and I'm not gonna say she's laughing on her way to the bank. She's invoking her way to the bank. She takes her YouTube check and says, on the way to the bank, never gonna get it, 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 gonna get it. If you think you're going to fuck her using the advice that she gives you to fuck her, I got a bridge in the Sahara I want to sell you. I got a lake in the Sahara I want to sell you. This, holy crap.
Don't even think that way. They just know they're getting some clicks by, spreading.
And you know you're going to get some clicks by having your tits out. I mean, you got mine.
Loves company and they want to keep you there. Okay? They want you to be bitter. They see that, oh, this is I'm probably getting a lot of them in my comments. I'll be surprised if I don't. Okay, want to stay with people who feel comfortable there. And if you're too deep in it, I'm sorry.
So, victims want to stay victims. Let's dissect that for a second. Because what you're describing as victimhood, as men who are not getting to sleep with the women that they want to sleep with. So, according to your logic of victims want to stay victims, they want to continue to not fuck the women that they want to fuck. let's just put myself in this situation for a second, right? I am a victim of not fucking Haley Bailey. Or no, excuse me, Chloe Bailey. Or hell, I am a victim of not having a threesome with the Bailey sisters. I am a victim of this. Now, according to her logic, I want to continue to not have a threesome with the Bailey sisters. You see the lunacy that she's trying to put into the psyche of her audience? Ah.
I'm really sorry for you. But it's not impossible to get out of it, okay?
Oh, yes, please tell us how. So, tell us, coach us. Coach it. Okay, let's hear this.
Consuming a lot of content like that, and you know how the algorithm
Yeah, don't consume anyone but my tits.
works. If they see you like certain things, they're going to keep pushing you. They're going to keep pushing certain, things, videos, images, whatever to you, right? It will over time make you very bitter. And no one, not only women wants to be around someone who's bitter, okay? And the world's against me, everybody this and that. No. Okay. But at the end of the day,
And eggs, sweet tits, chicken and eggs. So let's just take, one of the last 10 guys that you shot down this month. By the way, we're not 10 days into the month. But let's just take one of those guys, right? I'm shooting you down because you're bitter. Actually, I wasn't bitter until you shot me down. Oh, well, I'm not interested. Oh, well, now I'm bitter. Okay, now I'm shooting you down because you're bitter. Wait, what? So, according to her, men are being rejected because they're bitter, and men are bitter because they're rejected. Chicken and egg, sweetie. Chicken and egg.
force anyone to change how they are. If you're comfortable where you are, okay. I'm just saying it looks very sad, and I'm trying to help you guys realize, open your eyes. You are in charge of your life. You are in charge of your life. Work with what you got. My message is
I am in charge of my life. So I'm going to tell the Bailey sisters exactly that. I'm going to say, hey, Haley, I want you in red, and Chloe, I want you in black lingerie. Chop, chop, get naked. I'm going to get in the shower. If they look at me crazy, I'm in charge of my life. I don't think you seem to realize that I'm in charge of my life. And in my life, I want a threesome with the two of you. This is the relationship coach bullshit that's going on in the world today.
and even for women, even for myself, for me to even be here and make YouTube videos, I was very low at one point where I did not want to make videos. I used to make a lot of videos before. I had a successful YouTube channel. I was in music, all of that. I went to a dark place where I was, yes, I started comparing myself. So so that's why I'm not really putting myself as an example. But all I'm saying is I felt so much better with myself, felt lighter, feel more beautiful, have more positive thinking. I am attracting better things in my life since I realized, you know what? I can appreciate someone else's success, someone else's beauty, what they got, okay, that maybe I probably would have liked to have too, but I don't have it yet, and that's okay. But I have other things. I'm grateful. I work with what I got, okay? I'm sure physically, but I've spoken to some men that have been where you are, so confident, they don't want to talk to women, but deep down they would like to a girlfriend, a wife,
Okay. Um, your advice is contradicting itself because you're saying that, work with what you got, but also improve. Improving is getting more. Like working what you got is working with the physique that you got. Working out is improving the physique that you got. So which one is it? For example, I believe that you should do both, like work what you got while improving. But which one are you talking about?
It. Focus on yourself. Once you get your confidence up, that's when things start flowing, okay? You are in charge of your life. Take control and work on releasing that negative energy to finally thrive.
So that's why I'm not getting my Haley Chloe threesome. It's because I'm not confident enough.
Best self, guys. Honestly, a lot of men have told me, you can get a girlfriend. All you have to do is focus on yourself. But a lot of men don't want to do the work because they're just focused on this guy and that guy's getting it so easily. Why I have to do this? Why do I
Wait, see, and there's the contradiction. Okay, so she just said work with what you got. Now she's saying this. Hold on.
and things start flowing, okay? You are in charge of your life. Take control and work on releasing that negative energy to finally thrive. A lot of men don't want to do the work because they're just focused on this guy and that guy's getting it so easily. Why I have to do this? Why do I have to do that? F this, F that, and F.
Okay, so yeah, I'm going to focus a little bit more. I'm going to circle back on this whole Chad thing, this whole Chad Tyrone thing, because from what she was saying, and a lot of it was relationship guru garbage. But there's this guy. He don't come up on my feed anymore, but he used to. We're going to talk about that. Let's see. Hold on, if I could find him. He's supposed to be like this Chad of a human. Let's see. Apparently, there's a lot of guys doing. Oh, here he is. Okay, finally. Okay. In fact, it's perfect because I found one of the exact videos that is perfect for covering. Okay. So apparently he would be a Tyrone, right? So let's look at what's going on here.
Are very strategic. They have a little bit of game. They'll actually try to downplay your looks to make you feel average or normal to either keep your ego in check or to keep their status or physical attraction levels above yours. They'll make little sly comments, like, oh, I've been with more handsome guys than you in the past. Oh, yeah, I always attract handsome guys. Like, basically, they're suggesting that you being the handsome guy you are isn't new to them. But just know that some women will try to really just downplay your looks. In fact, some women will even get jealous if they're noticing like people checking you out and they're not checking her out, or maybe girls or guys complimenting you. But if you guys are out together and you're getting more of the attention, just know some jealousy is about to happen. Either she's going to try to one up you on your style, like always try to dress it to impress, or like I said, she's just gonna really try to downplay your looks verbally and let it be known, like, hey, you ain't all that, brother. Keep that ego in check. Some women are very strategic. They have a little bit.
Okay, so this is one example. I seen another video where he was shooting his shot and he got shot down several times. Um, I I think he said like I don't. It was like 100 times or something. Like watch me get shot down like 100 times. So it's still, of course, it is an advantage. Don't get me wrong, but it is not like it is not like the draw four in Uno. It's not the big six in dominoes. It's not the the B, the Joker with the B on it in spades. It's not the winning card that a lot of people who have these Chad Tyrone complaints assume that it is. I'm gonna see if I can find a video where he talked about like where he actually showed himself shoot a shot and get shot down. Let's see. Uh, but also, he had to deal with games. He has to deal with games, even as a god faced dude, even as a off shirt ninja. Oh, he has a video here saying how successful men attract women with low effort. Being successful isn't low effort. That's yeah, okay. Anyway, let's see. Um, oh wow. So he has a lot of videos. It's gonna be a while before I get down to it. To keep it a buck, it's going to be forever. Um, and I want to note that he's not just what they are. Um, oh, wait a minute. He has a video called "How to Red Pill Help Me Attract Higher Quality Women." So I'm going to save that and maybe do a separate video on that later. There we go. Okay. And maybe I'll just do a breakdown of a lot of his work. I haven't thought about this dude until now, but I'm like, listen, it's not the end all be all. He still needs strategy. He still needs wealth. In addition to that, he has to, he is a wealthy dude. So his success is also contributed to that, and status. Having a YouTube channel is status. Like it's, once again, it's not just one factor. If he was just an attractive dude, they'll walk around calling him brokey. And she talks about how confidence is everything, but he was just talking about how they try to stifle your confidence. So yeah, miss me with that. And I'm not talking to the chick in the previous video. I'm talking about to you Chad Tyrone complainers. You know, like it's a lot more complicated than that. There isn't a guy out there that's just getting it off genetics. Get it, got it, good. Okay. So you're telling me if Lucario and Austin Denham were to walk into a club, there's going to be two completely different responses. Yeah, there is going to be two completely different responses. Um, now the responses are going to be different, but the difference would depend on the woman. Do I feel that if Austin and Lucario were to walk into a club, would they get significantly different responses and results? Absolutely. Do I think that we as men would prefer Austin's results than Lucario's results? Absolutely. The difference, one of the fun because they're both dating coaches. One of the fundamental differences between Austin and Lucario is that Lucario is selling you something that don't work. It don't work. Lucario is selling you a low effort approach into it, to getting results. So, but what Austin is doing is he is selling you the concept of, at least I think, this is what he's doing, from what I'm looking at the titles. He's trying to instill into you the concept of high effort, ridiculously high effort, absurdly high effort to get slightly higher than average results. That's what he's proposing. I doubt any of y'all have a six pack. I know I don't. and I haven't had one since the president was black. And why don't I? Because it takes a ridiculous amount of effort to have one at my age. Ridiculous effort to have one at my age. And the uptake in box that I would receive likely isn't worth it. But it's not just the six pack. It's everything else, the wealth, the lifestyle, the status and stuff like that. I mean, yes, with an extraordinarily amount of hard work, you would see the results. And that's what he represents. Lucario is more on the snake oil stuff where he's like, oh no, all you have to do is do this and she'll drop her panties. Like who? And then when you see who he's talking about, it's like, well, I could have dropped those panties anyway. What in the hell? That's what he's on. It's these are two completely different things to compare. All right. Um, let's see. All right, let's go to her Instagram. I want to show y'all some of that. Okay, I'm going to respond to this. Somebody said King Picks and GC, a six pack doesn't have the appeal it did 20 years ago. Well, women are all over the place with their desires. But what they really want is they want a guy with high effort and low confidence. So I mean, really, they want a whole bunch of things, and they're pretty much all over the place, meaning that no two women are going to want the same thing from a man. Which is, you're right. It's not what it used to be because there isn't a universal desire for anything amongst women nowadays. And that's because they're confused because, in a very real way, at least the sentiment is that they can't have everything they want. So I don't know what I want now. They shop like that too. You send them to a shoe store with every type of shoe that ever existed, they'll be confused and they'll die in that store trying to pick one. All right, let's look at her Instagram. Look at these tits. All right, so let's see if we can find something interesting. Where's this average confident guy that she's with? Because apparently that's all a guy needs, right? Now, this is something interesting because she talks about FBA and Black Americans and don't downplay the sisters, but it does seem like she could just go to Brazil, wave the Brazilian flag up underneath her perfect ass. Of course, she's going to make sure that the flag doesn't cover that nice, perfect round ass. She speaks something that's not English but Latin nonetheless, Portuguese or Spanish. And it seems like she just really, it seems like she's one of the racially ambiguous people that just blends into wherever she goes so she can extract money from those people. So in her last video where she was talking about black women, and you need to stop talking about black women like that. Yes, I'm Brazilian, Canadian, Jamaican, Dominica, waving the Brazilian flag under my Brazilian butt lift. However, I'm also a black woman. Damn, that's a nice ass. All right. And you can see the letters there. She's speaking something different. She's speaking something strange. All right. Let's see. Huh. These are nice tits. Let's click on this. Okay, so she's been thirst trapping for at least 242 weeks. So this is like 5 years old. No man, no man, no man. Ah, here's a man. All right. Okay, that's a thing. More Spanish talk. More perfect body talk. More booty pictures. Let's see. Another picture of her with different hair texture. Picture of her with a random guy. Tits, tits, tits. Let's see. All right, this is just so y'all can get a feel of her before we go into the next video. Ooh, tits. All right, and more tits. All right, let's see. Ooh, more tits. Okay. Huh. Oh, this is on purpose. This is on purpose. She only posts pictures where she's the hottest chick. I think that she feels uncomfortable around women that are hotter than her. Testing, testing. Okay, back. All right. I think she feels uncomfortable around women that are hotter than her. So her current YouTube channel has like I think it's like 17,000. So she has this plaque and she still so it would you would swear that English is not her primary language. So once again, she's one of these exoticals that just goes to different cultures pretending to be that to get as much views and stuff. But nevertheless, it seemed like she had a previous YouTube channel and now she had to start from scratch again. Which she mentioned in the previous video. All right, let's see. Ah, I've been there. It's called something else, but I call it the Big Jesus. I also been to these steps. These steps is the most underwhelming thing in Brazil. In fact, if you walk up them, because I did, and you look to the left, you're not gonna see it because it's gonna be a different time of day. But there was a kid there eating cereal. There's an apartment there, like along the steps, that's just like a regular thing. Like people are going like far and wide for these steps. I was looking like, hey, they're just fucking stairs. And then and then there's a kid that actually lives. Well, he's probably not even a kid anymore, but there was a kid like that just lived there, like watching cartoons. He lives in the it's like living underneath the Golden Gate Bridge or something. Like that's what it's like. I'm like, what the hell? It was just like regular Brazilian kids there, for one, the one that lived there And then there were just other teenagers that's just there. It's just like a regular place to the locals. And really it was a regular place to me. But for whatever reason, she's sitting there like, yes, I am at these stairs. That was a very and I was like, what the fuck? It's stairs. Even the big Jesus, I get it. He's big and he's Jesus, but these are just stairs. By the way, I seen the little big Jesus too in Puerto Plata, in Dominican Republic. Okay, that's her little brother. Looks like he's whatever. Oh, there we go. Okay, so somebody likes dark skinned black men and raw penis. So she is a single mom. All right. So let's go to the next video. Somebody says, I got six pack. I got a six pack, but I think they care more about arms and chest. No, 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 homie, listen. You listen and listen to me good. Cause dude just said apparently, this jawline nigga just said it clear so we all can understand. They're not going to compliment what you got. They're going to complain about what you don't got. Once again, they're not going to compliment what you got. They're going to complain about what you don't got. I got six pack abs, but I think that they like okay. I got six pack abs, but I think that they like arms and chest more. If you had arms and chest with no abs, they'll like abs more. Kind of like if a person is smart but not athletic, all of a sudden they like athletes. But a person is athletic and not smart, all of a sudden they like nerds. They're just doing that to not give you their due, or your due, I should say. Get it? Got it? Good. Hit the like button. And that's why their preferences are going to be all over the place, because they really scan you for something to complain about. You want to know how I know they do this? Because I do that shit, or at least I did when I was younger. Like no fronting, I would scan a woman, and just so when I approach, I'm not just completely just like enamored, like this is the most beautiful woman I ever seen. I would be on some Eddie Murphy, like, hey, she got hematime in her toes. I would actually find something to where I can be more comfortable approaching. Find her imperfections. Would I recommend that? I don't know. I grew out of it, but did it help? Maybe. I mean, I did still shoot my shot, and sometimes successful and other times not so successful, but you know, it worked for me at the time I was doing it. This is ridiculous. This broad is something different. So she's just breaking into a new market because she's not. I don't think English is her primary language. Like all of her previous stuff, it's like so. She's Caribbean Canadian that lived in Brazil for some time. It looks like. I don't know what's going on. And yes, I'll still smash. All right, moving on to the next one. This one is called "How Average Get the Hottest Women." Okay, I want you to tell me how average men get the hottest women. Okay, let's listen to this garbage. Okay. That too, they care about what we can't change, including height. Once again, they put an overemphasis on the thing that you lack. These are the women that will tell Dwayne the Rock Johnson, "Yeah, I need somebody funny," and then tell Kevin Hart, "I need somebody tall." That's just what they do. Don't let it get into your psyche. They have vaginas.
talking about why average men get the hottest women. So, have you guys ever everyday life you see an average looking guy with a gorgeous stunning woman and you're just like, honestly, most of the time these guys are not loaded. It's like that. So it's not bad. In this video, I'm going to talk
Okay.
about exactly
She looked like Chantel Simone here. I don't see it at all. Chantel is what she says she is. Chantel has nice tits too. Is that what you're doing? You think all Jamaican tits look the same? I'm funny. All right, let's continue.
why this happens. And it happens more than you guys think. You know, whatever you see online, you're going to start believing it. You know, that are like, I don't know why I'm single. And then, you know, I see some women that are average looking, you know, engaged, married, you know, happily married and all that. Why is it that we see a lot of average looking people, whether it is women, with a really, really attractive man or woman, you know, in contrast? So honestly, everybody has a
Favorable set of circumstances. To me, that is the best way to get the best deal. The rules that I was speaking to you about the three exceptional qualities, things like that, things like these rules only apply when um, when you are in circumstances where you're seeking the opposite sex. So this applies in the nightclubs, on dating apps, on speed dating, just anywhere where there's dating, anywhere where men go to meet women, you have to be exceptional. However, if you meet a woman under favorable circumstances, like church, and I'm not saying go to church looking for women, but what I am saying is that you have a better chance of getting a woman who's far prettier than you are handsome if you're in a place where the two of you are supposed to be and you wasn't there looking for pussy puts you at a disadvantage because she's like, okay, I have something you want and you don't necessarily have something that I want as much as you want what I got. Okay, let's put it in the context. Let's take her for example. Let's just say she has a hobby, like she plays soccer or something like that, right? Or I have a son and he's on her daughter's soccer team, which means I have to see her from time to time. And that gives time for my personality to grow on her. However, if I seen her on the beach where she's wearing that bikini with the Brazilian flag like slightly under her ass, and she's expecting to be approached, which means that, and she's not going to embrace everybody that approaches her, which means that she's literally there to reject guys, then I don't have a chance there. So situations like that almost always come from favorable circumstances. Like they worked together, but they were pitted together for a period of time, and in that time their personalities meshed. That's almost always the story when that happens. Almost always.
preferences. Everybody has their type, you know? So at the end of the day, what's attractive really depends on the person. But you know exactly what I mean when I say some people, they date out of their league, and you're like, wow, how come? So in this video, I want to talk about more average men who get beautiful women. People mostly assume it's like either money or luck, but it's not. It's mostly energy. So your presence, the emotional maturity, how you make the woman feel. Okay, because honestly, women, they can be attracted to you physically, but what keeps them hooked and stuff is mostly how you make them feel. So emotional attractions, emotional connection. So it's not just physical appearance. I mean, of course, everyone likes someone who is easy on the eyes, eye candy, of course.
Physical appearance breaks the ice, absolutely, for guys. And women really, but physical appearance breaks the ice. However, what she's saying is true. Past physical appearance, substance is what's going to seal the deal. However, if you put yourself in a situation where she's experiencing your substance, meaning that you don't have to break the ice because you are put in this situation together, then that's how that works.
We love that. Humans are like that. Our brain just feels satisfied when we see someone attractive, right? Okay. Doesn't mean you want to be with them, doesn't mean you want to marry them, doesn't mean you want to live long with this person. Man who is calm, emotionally stable, that is secure in himself, this honestly makes a woman feel so safe. And this can be very attractive to women because women really look for that security. Conventionally attractive men who actually know they're attractive and they're just like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Most of the time, they don't really go deep. They're very surface level. And, a lot of women can just be like, no, like, there's no substance here. Like, you're cute and all, but like, I'm not thinking about you.
And this goes back to what Austin was talking about. It's they're finding excuses. They're finding excuses so they won't put themselves at a disadvantage when dealing with this guy.
When I go home, you know what I mean? It's just, it's very temporary. Like, if I don't see you, like, the woman's not seeing you right in front of her, she might forget you because you are just your looks. You know what I mean? A lot of women like men who look like men, not men who are trying to be too pampered, too pretty, too polished. A lot of women like when men are a little bit more laid back. Women sometimes just like, I want to be the woman. I want to be taking like hours in front of the mirror and not seeing my man, waiting on my man in the mirror, all like ooh, 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 trying to look cute every 2 seconds.
So remember in the previous video, she was telling guys to put in the effort, that they should become Chad or Tyrone. Now she's saying that they don't like the guys that put in all the effort. You see that? This is what I'm talking about when I say that they're all over the place. And one thing is for certain, and this goes for wherever a guy falls on the looks or desirability category, is that women never give out the right combination to their own pussy. So anything that you say, it's kind of like when schools, high schools or university gives out practice tests. Basically, they're giving you a list of stuff that's not going to be on the actual test. That's why she's all over the place with it. You should work hard and try to be Tyrone and try to be Chad and try to, oh yeah, we don't like guys that spend more time in the mirror, but that's what Chad has to do to be Chad. That's how he chads. Austin had a video talking about how to shave and blend your beard into your face. This man got videos about angling Bumble pictures and stuff like that. I mean, that's how you Chad. And that's why he is a god face dude and I'm not. Like, what the fuck? Because it's not worth it to me. Just to have some bra like this, like, oh, I don't like guys that spend too much in the mirror. I'm willing to bet that Austin spend more time in the mirror than you do. Like, this is
Looking
bad.
in the mirror, like, I get it, that's cool too. If you do that, that's cool. But I'm saying there's a lot of women who see that as an ick. Like, why does this guy take more time than me in the morning? Why does this guy take more time than me to go out? As annoying as, super conceited, super self-centered women too. The real answer for you is that they're really not relying on looks. A lot of attractive women who are looking for a relationship and, want a connection, emphasizing want a real connection, okay? They're looking for a real, husband, boyfriend, whatever stage or age they're at, okay? These beautiful women that date average looking men or guys that you guys find very, unattractive is because they're so used to attention. Attention is nothing to them. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh my goodness, someone called me beautiful. Like, oh wow, like I don't know how to act. They know they're beautiful. They know heads are gonna be turning. They've been used to it. It doesn't change anything. So they commit. They rarely cheat. These women will rarely cheat because they're secure in themselves. They don't need that validation. Okay,
Huh?
there are a lot of beautiful women are labeled as, oh, for sure she has options, for sure she's gonna be like texting a bunch of guys, but a lot of beautiful women are not doing that, and they want to commit to one guy. And that's why it's really important for a guy to be secure in himself when he dates a very, very beautiful woman, because if you have
Okay. I do agree with what she's saying about a guy needs to be secure in herself. She is a bit all over the place, but that part I agree with.
trust issues right away just because she is good looking and just because other men are watching, then that's going to be a challenging relationship. You're going to have to see how she acts, how she reacts. um at the end of the day, trust is very important. You know what I mean? I know I'm cute. Thank you for noticing, but have a nice day. That's it. When the relationships don't work, when the woman is, considered out of the league of the guy physically, if the guy is insecure, he will honestly trip. Honestly, most men, they trip. Like they end up cheating somehow because they feel like they're not good enough for some reason.
Okay. This is getting a bit exhausting. Because what she's doing, she's trying to sell something, but she don't want to tell you the truth and that there is no formula. That's likely why she's single. There is no set formula. What she's telling you is she's telling you what don't work, and being insecure don't work. However, that doesn't mean secure works. Kind of like smelling bad don't work. That doesn't mean wearing Tom Ford is going to work. Absence of a negative is not, I mean, it's helpful advice, especially if somebody has that negative, like if they smell bad and, they should shower before meeting the woman, but yeah.
Or they're like, she's probably cheating, so I'm gonna, as soon as they get a little bit of attention from a woman, because they're not used to it, right? They're not used to it. So if they get a little attention from another woman, it strokes their ego right away. It brings them up. Oh wow, okay, this woman sees me. She's compliment. She wants me. And this is where it's dangerous. Okay, this is where it's dangerous. I'm getting off topic. Yeah, a man who can listen, who can understand the woman, who knows the woman's love language, a guy who pays attention, a guy who, surprises the woman, excitement without being toxic, emotional maturity, leadership. These are things that women are like, oof. It's not about the looks. It's just like the way you make them feel. This is what I'm trying to tell you. It's how you make the woman feel. It's how you make the woman feel.
No, it isn't. You're lying. Any woman who tells you that women are going for just one quality, they're lying. Now, as a dating coach, she's not only going to tell you that, it's just one quality, she's going to make it so it's a quality that is obtainable, but you have to learn how to obtain it. And that is, it's how you make me feel. Well, how do I make a woman feel right? Oh, well, uh you could book a consultation and I'll tell you. Okay. That's how that works. Lucario and Steve the Dean, they're on the same kick. It's never one thing. Not with modern women. It's never one thing. It's a combination of things that the particular woman that you're interested in just so happens to value. And also, and this is why people get ghosted, is because feeling is an inconsistent thing, especially with women. They got all kind of blood and hot flashes and emotional ups and downs, that changes, with the height of the ocean. It changes with the roll of a dice. So, meaning like, oh, he made me feel so good when I met him. And then you call her when she's not feeling good the next day or the day after that or whenever. And because the relationship is solely based on how she feels, if you just so happen to be in her presence when she's not feeling anybody, then that's it. You're on the block list.
Okay, that's the key. The real reason, but honestly, I know you want to hear this. Okay, looks get you in the door. I get it. Take care of yourself. You will attract someone if you take care of yourself and work on certain qualities. You know what I mean? Looks might start the spark, but it's emotional connection that keeps the flame alive, keeps her addicted, keeps her wanting more. You know what I mean?
That's true, but you're talking about how average men get hot women. And the people that clicked your video were doing that because most people are average. So average men clicked your video and they want to know how to get with one. And you're saying, okay, step one is to become above average looking to get that spark, to get your foot in the door, and then work on your personality. Yeah, exactly. It's like collecting infinity stones. Like you don't just win the universe with one stone.
This is the key. You got to keep her wanting more. You got to keep her. You got to get her thinking about you. And honestly, when I see most of these average looking men with gorgeous women, like most of the time, they have charisma.
Well, how did they spark? Like, because you just said that they had to become attractive to spark. How did they spark? Okay.
They have their, they're confident. They're laid back. They're themselves. Honestly, they're being themselves. Women can feel.
It's not just a matter of you being yourself. She actually have to like the self that you are. Imagine farting in a woman's face and say, "Yeah, that's myself. I like farting in faces." Like, come on now. This is why the dating coach industry, is bullshit. Keep in mind, this isn't me. This video is not talking about dating coaches per se. This video is just breaking down what she was saying about women feel disrespected black women. Women feel disrespecting black women are normal now, or is normal now. So after showing that video that she did, I wanted to give you some insight into her character and why she is what she is. Why is she, and on her Instagram in Brazil, looking Brazilian with the Brazilian body and butt lift, you know, with her tits out. Why is she doing that in one clip and then coming back to the States on some sister, you my sister stuff? I feel so bad. I she's on some, hold on. Cause now that you have some insight into who she is, and you look at her first video, she's like, I feel so bad about the dark-skinned black woman who don't have an ass like this and don't have a tits like these, who don't have a body like this. I feel so bad for them. Look at me. I'm doing the Margarita because I feel so bad about the black women. And the passport bros are coming to see me, even though they don't know that I'm westernized too. I feel so bad for the I feel so bad for them. I trust me, sister, I'm one of you. I'm one of you because I am like you, a black American woman with a Brazilian flag and a Brazilian ass on Rio Beach in Brazil with Brazilian Remy in my head. I'm one of you. And I sympathize with your plight. And black men, you need to stop looking at those exotic women like this and start looking at black women. And when you start taking black women seriously and not disrespecting them, then you'll get an exotic woman like this is what you're dealing with. This is the mentality. This is the brain. This damn, that's a nice ass. This is the brain that you are dealing with. Fellas, heed my yeah, let me this is distracting. Get out of there. This is what you're dealing with. She is just in the sisterhood for views and stuff. Remember, there was a movie. I didn't go. I didn't have money to go. I live in California. I grew up in California. I lived here all my life. Um, I didn't have the money to go, and I would have had major problems with my dad if I did go um, to the Million Man March. Later, there was a show. There was a movie, a Spike Lee joint that came out about the Million Man March called "Get on the Bus." And on Get on the Bus, there was a dude, I forget who the actor was who played the character, but he was a black man and, he paid the fare. He got on the bus to go to the Million Man March. And then, he was talking like mad shit. And it wasn't on some pro black stuff. So they like, wait a minute. Why are you going to the march? Why are you really going to the march? He was like, oh, I'm going there to sell some cars. Niggas need cars like cars need niggas. And so he was infiltrating blackness to get money. And that's what this chick is doing. She goes wherever she needs to go to suit and becomes whatever she needs to be to suit her needs. So this is where I'm going with this. And of course, like most black women, or women that appears black, that a white guy will look at and just say she's black because she's not white. They want the critiques to end because it's messing with their bag. She's hot shit. However, that is an obstacle that she has to overcome. She don't like that, so she wanted to stop so she can continue to just go around and living life on the beach, shoot niggas down, but getting what she can from them in the process while her daughter is at home. She has like 100 pictures and two with her daughter. Just saying. Yeah, if your Instagram consists more of your ass than your kid's face, then there's a problem there. So anyway, let's see some comments before I head out. Beautiful women are insecure AF. You're probably right. I've heard that. I mean, um, and though I do see the truth in that statement, it is not true enough to make them available to average men. If you're an average man and you think you can capitalize on a beautiful woman's insecurity, you have another thing coming. And that thing coming, it will not be your penis inside the beautiful woman. All right, let's see. So she's basically telling me to bag an 8 plus. I mean, bag the highest number you can. Shit. You don't have to be told that. You need this broad to tell you that. So they start out just wanting to fuck. I lost the context of what you were saying. Because you could be talking about they as in Chad Tyrone, or they as in attractive women, or they as in average men. So I lost the context. A lot of women separate what they want into different men. What you're describing is a situation where a woman wants a rich guy and she wants a handsome guy, so she gets two different men, and she wants a protector and she gets a third man, and she wants a intellectually stimulating guy. I get what you're saying. You know, mixed up and confused. Yeah, women still have primitive mating strategies. Women have the mating strategy that the dominant figure in their lives programmed them to have. So they may have had a primitive mating strategy, absolutely. However, that primitive mating strategy was overridden by a modern dating strategy. Now, if in that new code there's some primitive things in there, then it's in there. But rest assured that women more than men are a product of their environment. And if their environment tell them that acne is sexy this season, then they are going to go out looking for pimple face motherfuckers. If society tells them that they need to get with the elephant man, then they're going to get with the elephant man. Society tells they asked that Little Wayne is handsome and they went out and had babies with him. I mean, so it's not, I mean, there's nothing primal about him. I don't think he would survive hunter gatherer phase. So yeah, I mean, whatever primal programming they have gets overridden every season, you know. One generation they like waves, next generation they like fades. Like, and then they like bald with beards. One year six pack, next year is dad bods. It's whatever the strongest stimuli tells them to go for. According to Coach Greg Adams, a woman is never out of your league. She is just out of your price range. Yeah, I mean, I think that the price is right for any woman, absolutely, and men for that matter. Perhaps not sexually. However, there are men who, if given the right price, $1 billion will do just about anything. I often said, um, and I stick by this, for $100,000. I would not only reveal my face on YouTube, um, I would fight anybody. And I mean anybody. Do I want to? No. But if Jake Paul was to just come and say, hey, game changer, 100 G's, meet me in the ring, wear a game changer t shirt, and we go at it. All right. I mean, so people have prices. I don't really, uh, you don't have to like walk the street, but uh but I think most women, if a guy just came like, hey, um I got this house in Malibu, I'll sign it over to you if you do something strange. And why not? Somebody said, "Would I fight a coked up Brock Lesnar?" Yes, yes. Like I fight him. I would fight Wes Watson. 100 G's. And the reason why I say that price, that's not just a figure that came out of my head. There was a guy who used to do a skit saying, "I'm Tyrone and I want to fuck your wife." And he got into a YouTube fight with somebody. And I think that the buy-in for that was $100,000. And dude was significantly bigger than him. And I was like, shit, I don't care. For 100 G's, I mean, what the fuck? I don't think it would get to that. For some things, yes. A large dick has nothing to do with looks, it's genetics. Well, I mean, it's something that they look at, but I get your point, you know. When a woman, so when a woman stares at my BBC, protruding to the left, it's a part of my looks. Okay. Yeah, it is. It's a part of your looks. It's something that they look at, something that they can look at. Just like when you look at a woman's tits, like, smushed together and fighting for supremacy in the same bra, that's her looks. All right, I read that. All right. Going back down. Sorry, I'm back to the part where I already started reading. So great show. Thanks a lot, Ray. Ray, listen, I'm sick of movie night people coming late. I'm gonna start giving more time when I announce it, but yeah, I'm gonna say that. All right. Anyway, I appreciate you, Ray. Appreciate you, Roy. Let's see. Good show. Women used to be afraid of BBC, but the media influenced them to want things they can't even fit inside them. Yeah. Um, and not only that, what the media has done, because women are doing stuff that don't make any damn sense at all. And I'll give two examples before I go. Um, One of them is this dancing bear. Every now and again, uh, on Pornhub, I'm on Pornhub, and I'll see like an advertisement for Dancing Bear. Now, I don't know if y'all know what it is, but Dancing Bear is basically like a male stripper with a giant bear head that goes to like women's bachelorette parties. And while he's stripping and doing his routine and everything, sometimes they suck his dick. And sometimes, they fuck it. And it'll be like dozens of women there at office parties and shit like that. And I'm like, huh. Now, this is very interesting because they're paying for this. They're paying to do this. Now men also pay for strippers to come, and I'm pretty sure some of the guys fuck these strippers as well. Um I never fucked a stripper on the clock, but I know that it's done. Um and But the reason why is because we don't have the same access. Each of these women could fuck these guys for free. If they see, like, they could just go look at an off shirt nigga and suck his dick, and I doubt that he would protest. So why are they paying? They're paying because society has wired them to do dumb shit. Really, society has wired them to do the same thing that men do, just reversing the genders. And that's why you have these women, and apparently now there's like an influx of passport cis, women that go to other countries looking for dick and upset that they're not really getting what they're looking for. It's like it doesn't work that way. Society has programmed you to be men, but the outer environment don't allow for it. It's like programming a self-driving boat and then putting it on the ground. It's not going to work that way. So yeah, but the fact that they even attempt to do it is stupid. It's a reflection of how stupid they are. Or I shouldn't say stupid. It's because am I bad? I shouldn't call them stupid for that regard. Women were built to follow. Adam or Eve was built to follow Adam. So because they are following the most influential power in their life, which is the media, it only makes sense that that's what happens. Like that's just the way that goes. Um, which is why they're so confused. But I wouldn't say what they're going through or what they're behaving or how they're behaving is primitive by any regard because it is the byproduct of technological influence, which isn't primitive. Now, the technological can influence them to behave in a primitive manner, but they're not behaving that way because they're following primitive instincts. They're behaving that way because they are programmed to do primitive shit. Get it? Got it good. All right. Women overseas paying for men who are short and chubby. No, I'm not going to put that on them. I'm not going to put that on them. The women that I see who go overseas for companionship, and I don't see black women doing this. I see white women doing this. Black women go overseas to say that they went and to give them a false sense of life meaning, but um because I go to Latin American countries or Asia where women don't travel for dick, I do see white women there with Latin men, darker Latin men that can dance and that is very in touch with their own local cultures because and some of whom are handsome because it did baffle me like why, and they're not American by the way, but they are attractive. So I've always wondered like what is it, why are they going there and not just suck the black dick that's in their country, whether it's France, England, or wherever in Europe that they come from. And I found the answer through Red Pill, and then I found an additional answer in my own travels. One, they want to be in tune with the culture that they like. Two, they want to be able to do their debauchery without white men anywhere near them, which is why they go to Africa. You know, BBC did a story on the women that go to Africa looking for BBC. They do that as opposed to fucking their own immigrant population of Africans, because they actually just want to be secluded. They don't want to be around prying eyes. I'm gonna show y'all this. Show y'all what I'm talking about. I got to be careful showing this African stuff because there's always some spare titties around. Um, and they could put it on their channel, and I can't put it on mine. But hold on. Okay, I'm trying to find the right words. Hold on. White woman. I think this is it. Okay, so yeah, um, this chick, she goes there to the tribe, um, and teach these bald-headed women how to use tampons and stuff. I remember this as being a very interesting story. Um, but yeah, so there is a thing going on there. They're very confused because they're getting signals from all over the place on what they should want. Um, yeah, I mean, there really isn't much I could say about that. And you're right, they do pay for below average men. I don't think that this guy was the most handsome man in the universe, um, or in Africa. So yeah, um, they're all over the place. They're all over the place, and once again, they're getting signals from a lot of different sources. Is what it is. But if it was just primitive, it would be consistent, and it's not. All right, let's see. Carlos Reed interviewed a guy who sells D to Keisha. He was short and below average. Yeah. Yeah. Once again, three traits. Three traits. It don't really matter which three traits that a guy has to possess. He just has to possess three things in abundance that the woman likes. And there you have it. If it's not looks, it could be intelligence, charisma, and social status. Or charisma, social status, and money. Anyway, um, I want to thank the Cash App Super Chats, of which I have none, but thanks for thinking about that. Managers and moderators, those who listen silently, and those who participate in the chat, hit that like button on your way out. This is Game Changer 00100. Game over. Peace.